you're probably wondering what the hell is this. That's right, it's a bonus episode of Joe John. We recorded this when we recorded the Armageddon stuff, so some of this news may be old, but only by a few days. So, anyways, enjoy the show.
Previously on the Joe John Show. Hey Murray, you know what I was thinking?
What?
I don't think that the animal cracker qualifies as a cracker. Well, the animal cracker is sweet, and I find you really sweet. Maybe we could have a little animal cracker discovery thing. How about, look at this gazelle. This gazelle's gonna go down your belly. See that it's tip-toeing down into your vagina. And I'm gonna put it in there.
You have such sweet pillow talk.
No, I'm gonna eat it out of you.
Do you think that there are other people on Earth right now doing exactly what we're doing? Cause I miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing. Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream I never do, I'd still miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Murray. This is Joe.
Hello.
I'm going to let Joe take it away from here.
Yeah, just strictly movie news today. No movie reviews or anything. As well as we want to comment on Shia LaBeouf's woes. And I want to talk about the Emmys briefly. And the Batman script. Some Disney news. They're having their big expo right now. D23.
I didn't even know that was a thing until this week. I was like, I didn't know they had. Is it called D23 because it's the 23rd?
Well, maybe it's D24. I don't know. D something.
Yeah, I didn't know if the number signified how many times they've done it because I was just kind of like, oh, I didn't realize that was the thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's D23. D23 Expo.
Yeah. So before we get into that,
I don't want to start with that. I just wanted to.
Damn fly flying around my house.
I have not seen it yet.
It just flew right in front of us. Every time it flies by, you're looking like in a different direction. Besides the point. So, anyways, let's move on to some other stuff.
You know who's really screwed right now?
Who?
Shia LaBeouf.
Why?
Because the video footage came out of his last arrest, which I don't really know when that arrest was, but the body cam footage from the police officers, as well as all this other kind of footage, even at the police station.
I thought it was just recently that he got arrested.
I think it was. I guess he was arrested for public intoxication, and I also think harassment. Like, he was arrested for asking somebody for a cigarette. And I guess the cops were called on him from whoever he was talking to, and the cops arrested Shia LaBeouf at his hotel.
But just for asking for a cigarette, or is it like, can I get
That's
a
what Shia said. That's what he said. He said that he was just asking for a cigarette. The other guy has a completely different story.
No, and he left out the part where he said he was going to shove it up his ass.
But the video is online. You can watch it. It's funny, but also it's just
sad.
It's sad. It is because he constantly calls the cops. The cops, man, they have amazing patience in this video because he constantly calls them bitch, and he says some political stuff like he says you go to prison in the White House that doesn't give a shit about you. One of my favorite things he says was, and excuse my language, but when he's in the cop car, he says basically like the handcuffs are on him. He's like, you better get these shits off my arms. And that's what he says. He calls his handcuffs shits. It's like, so I definitely recommend watching it. But he does say some racist things as well.
What's he say?
I'm not gonna.
No, you don't have
watch
to say.
the videos.
Then like towards who? Who's he say it towards?
There was an African American officer that was part of the arresting team, and so he was saying some stuff about him.
Did he use the N-word or
no, nothing that bad. But it's like at the same time, he did say something that was essentially racist, and of course Shia LaBeouf, he did release an apology for it. He claims that he's been on he's been abusing alcohol, which I thought he had already taken care of, but I guess not. So he must be in much worse shape than he was then. It's just the thing is like I'm kind of with him. I want to be a little bit forgiving of this. Just because of the fact that he was drunk, you have like absolutely no filter when you're drunk and you say a lot of stupid stuff. And, I kind of think I need to not be a hypocrite here because I was defending Mel Gibson with his whole drunk tirade, sugar tits and all the Jewish stuff that he was saying. It's like, and I still love Mel Gibson.
Yeah, but I don't think he was drunk when he said all the stuff he said to his wife.
That's separate.
I listened to an old Howard Stern the other day, and they played that whole clip because I've never actually sat down and listened to it, and he was very, very sober sounding in that clip.
He was that stuff is online. That stuff is just really sad to listen to.
The drunk stuff. But see, that's the thing, though. When he says stuff like that, like, remember how you forgave him for, like, oh, he was drunk? It makes all the drunk stuff like, well, maybe he was not that drunk. Maybe he was more of maybe he had liquid courage at that point.
Enough time has passed to where I think we can forgive him. Look, Hollywood has forgiven him.
Here's the thing. I love Mel Gibson, and sorry.
I'm not saying what he did was right.
No, but hey, forgive him and move on. If he does it again, then you can say the hell with him.
Yeah, and see, that's possibly where with Shia LaBeouf is that he's been doing a lot of stupid stuff lately. It's like seems to be one after another with him. I think maybe we should kind of give him a little bit of an extra shot. Maybe if he does it again, then I think you can say screw him. But
I don't.
I'm gonna give him one more.
I just don't care. I don't care what he does.
That is true. He hasn't really done anything. I mean, what was the last? I guess his last big movie was probably Fury. Fury was good. He was in that, but nobody cared about him in that. As far as like a starring vehicle, it was probably Transformers 3.
Yeah, didn't care.
No,
don't care about him.
If he did disappear, or if we never heard from him again, I wouldn't care.
I didn't care about him when he was on Even Stevens. I didn't care about him when he was in Transformers, and I didn't care about him when he was doing this.
I started kind of liking him after I saw Disturbia. I thought that was a good movie.
Oh, my God, that movie sucked.
No, man, that's a good movie.
That movie sucks.
That's a good movie.
No, whatever.
You're going to say it sucks again?
Yeah.
I can just keep saying it's good.
It sucks.
Well,
it sucks. Let's move on, Joe.
Well, let's move on to another... Let's move on to something that I think kind of sucks for sure, and that's that the Emmy nominations have come out. And I only want to focus on one Emmy nomination in particular, although I do want to say that I guess for the first time, Game of Thrones is not nominated at all for the Emmys. I think that's like the first time that's happened. But this one particular...
Now, I don't watch Game of Thrones anymore because I got behind it. Just, that's the problem I have. If I get behind on a show and I can't catch up on it, like it becomes overwhelming because there's so many episodes that I'm behind on. And that show's not, a half hour. So it's hard to catch up on. But I find it hard to believe that nobody got nominated from that show. Nobody at all. It's like one of those like things where I feel like there was a... yeah, we're tired of nominating them for everything, so... I
think it was also the Emmys. It was either the Emmys or the Golden Globes where Lady Gaga won for American Horror Story over... Which this just shocked the hell out of me. She beat Kirsten Dunst from Fargo, which I know you didn't see that season, but Kirsten Dunst, dude, oh my God, she was phenomenal in that season. And I have seen Lady Gaga, it was American Horror Story Hotel, and I saw that whole season. And Lady Gaga, she wasn't terrible, but I didn't think she was good. She was fine. She pretty much played herself, pretty much. And I don't understand why Lady Gaga won that. I think that's just like, something to get trending or something. Which is what I think also this nomination with the Emmys this year is something that I think started from like a hashtag of Barb, the character of Barb from Stranger Things.
Like about a month and a half ago, I noticed that people were suddenly, they were talking about Stranger Things and people suddenly started like,
I love the show. The show's fantastic.
Oh man, Barb. And I was like, what do you mean Barb? Barb's hardly in any episode that she's in. She's barely in it. And she dies early on the show.
I think she's in like 4 of the episodes, but she's probably only in for like a minute in each of them. And I don't quite understand. There's like, I know it's like they want to say quality over quantity because, I mean, Anthony...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs? He's only in that movie for like 10 minutes, but he serves like he's an integral part of that movie. You could take Barb out of Stranger Things; it would not make any kind of difference.
And not only that, though, Anthony Hopkins is amazing in that movie.
That's true.
Barb is just there.
Yeah,
she's nothing special. Her acting doesn't go above and beyond. There's nothing really that difficult about playing a character who feels. I mean, most of her movie is just her going, "Oh man," and I'm being ignored. And that's her movie, the TV show, excuse me. But that's pretty much all she does through the whole thing. She's just like the secondary friend that you're kind of blowing on because you're trying to get some dick. Because that's basically what it seemed like that chick was doing.
You texted me that, and I couldn't believe it. I thought there has to be something behind this. And so I kind of feel like the reason why that they nominated is because of how big it was on the internet. You know, there was like justice for Barb. I think that was like the hashtag justice for Barb. It's like that went everywhere, and it's like I just don't.
Who cares?
I don't care. I didn't even like the character when she died. It's okay. She's dead. I don't care.
Yeah, didn't care.
It was a worthless character.
What's her name? Millie Bobby? Is that her name? Whatever the girl who played 11. What is her name? She's nominated. Yeah, it's like she got nominated, so that's good.
I know that, but I'm wondering who the hell got snubbed in favor of Barb. I don't know who the other nominations are. I'm not even going to look.
I don't care.
That's the thing about award shows to begin with is like, I don't care. They all suck. They haven't been good in years.
Here's my problem with award shows. How often do we see them and see that the movies are nominated because they felt like, well, I guess we better, or makeup awards or political reasons or whatever they do. It should be about the movie. It's one of those things where I've always had a beef with, like, you know, like where somebody gets mad because, you know, like the whole year, like the Oscars so white thing was going on. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with either side on that. But the thing is, if all the nominations that came up were based on actual merit, like the acting, the directing, the whatever, like that's why they felt that way, then it happened because of that, then that's just how it happened. Like, no big deal. Like, if everybody was nominated based on, well, they thought these guys were good,
yep,
and it just happened to end up being all white people, then sorry, that's what happens.
It should be earned, not given.
And that's what I mean. And I'm not saying that there isn't other things that go on. And like, again, I don't want to get into politics and all that crap. I just don't feel the need to nominate things because, well, I guess we better this time. Like, sorry, Toy Story 3, the year you were nominated. Absolutely stupid. Sorry. It didn't, I don't, to all the people who love that movie and think it was the greatest thing that come out that year, it was okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
And
it was better than 2.
I disagree. I disagree. I also had a problem with it anyway because I'm like, how stupid is it? It's like the year Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was up for Best Picture. It's like you put it in the Best Picture category and the Best Foreign Film. And the same thing with Toy Story. It's in Best Animated and Best Picture.
Yeah, I disagree.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win?
Did they do that with Beauty and the Beast when it was nominated? Or was it just strictly in Best Picture?
I don't remember.
I think it was strictly in Best Picture.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think they put it in the Best Animated.
And I don't know. I like award shows. There's a lot of makeup awards. Like, I'm sorry, but Denzel Washington was good in Training Day. But it's like, this is what you give him an Oscar for? Like, come on.
Didn't he win for Glory? He won for Glory.
Nah, did he win?
He didn't win for Malcolm X.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. I don't remember if he won for Glory or not.
I think, but it was supporting. Actor? It was supporting.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just
or Julia Roberts in her Aaron Brockovich Award. I've seen that movie multiple times. I didn't see the big deal. I just thought, this is what you give her an award for?
That's actually a good movie, though.
No, I liked the movie, but I didn't think her performance was anything extraordinary in it. And I feel like that was more of a, well, we better give her one before she doesn't have anything else to give it to her for. Because if they wouldn't have gave it to her then, can you imagine if they'd have been like, well, she was in Ocean's 11.
They do that with, they do that with like a lot of actors, though. It's like, Martin Scorsese wins for The Departed, and he doesn't win for Goodfellas.
Yeah, that was definitely a makeup award.
There's somebody else too. Like Russell Crowe wins for Gladiator, but he probably should have won for like The Insider or A Beautiful Mind, maybe. It's just, yeah, or Leonardo DiCaprio gets nominated every year. He wins for The Revenant, even though he probably should have won for any other movie, even though that's like a really good movie. But at the same time, it's like, I like him. I thought he was better in Wolf of Wall Street, or God, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? He was nominated for that.
Yeah, he was. But I was going to point out, like, I thought that dude really was retarded in that movie. I was like, I had no clue.
No, I don't think I knew Leonardo DiCaprio at that time.
I didn't either. I was like, they got this retarded guy to be in a movie. Good for them.
I think it was just Growing Pains, wasn't it? Yeah. He was in Critters 4. Yeah. Little trivia there. No, Critters 3. Sorry. Critters 3.
What else do we got?
Right.
I'm going to listen to this later to edit it and feel like I'm like, man, we sound like idiots.
Well, let's get into a little bit of superhero stuff. Just a little bit of little news. But I guess, like, Batman, I feel like, is in trouble once again because Ben Affleck's script that he wrote, don't know for how long, but it's essentially been thrown in the trash from the director. I think Matt Reeves is directing it. And he believe he did the last 2 Planet of the Apes movies. So now he's going to be doing Batman next. But he completely threw away Ben Affleck's script and is now starting from scratch again. And I think they're still planning on releasing it in 2019, I want to say. I don't know if that's...
they didn't. Yeah, the date didn't change at all.
Yeah, so is this possibly going to be another freaking rush job? I don't know, maybe. But I just think it's just goes to show you that DC still doesn't really know what they want to do. Now, of course, I think they kind of intended for Ben Affleck to also direct this Batman movie, but he's not now, so they're going to have Matt Reeves directing it instead. And of course, he probably wants to have his own story take rather than what they originally had. Or maybe the script just sucked. I mean, that could have been a possibility too.
I really don't care at this point. I'm kind of sick of that whole universe, and I just want it to go away. I really do. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman in Batman vs Superman, but that was like the only thing I liked from the movie.
No, I didn't like him in that at all.
I liked him as Batman.
No, I didn't like him.
You didn't really?
No, I thought Batman sucked in BVS.
Oh,
Dude, there's not really one good thing I can say about it.
I disagree. The whole fight scene where he comes in the building to save his mom, that was amazing.
And anybody could have done that.
Well, I agree, but I still liked it. I'm not going to take that away.
It was a great fight sequence, but at the same time,
I like that take on Batman. But other than that, I thought he sucked as Bruce Wayne, which is what I always said.
He sucked as Batman, too.
I said that was going to be I don't think there was a lot for him to be I mean, it worked. I thought he was fine. But who cares? It's not about that. I want that whole universe to just die. I want it to go away. I hope this all ruins it. I hope it's done. And I want to talk about something else real quick. Speaking of comic book movies, I'm excited to see that they are moving forward like at rapid speed with the new Hellboy movie. And I'm glad to see because I'm excited for it. First off, I'm excited because the guy directing it's the guy who directed Descent, which is my favorite horror movie ever. And the guy
Descent.
Huh?
Descent.
Whatever.
Neil Marshall.
Yeah.
Descent.
Okay.
You said Ascent.
No, I said who cares? Besides the fact that I also like that the guy writing it is the guy who created Hellboy. And they have flat out said it's R-rated, so the cuffs are off, and they're going to be able to do whatever they want. I'm excited for that.
No, I'm not.
I am. So
I think it's dumb. It's going to turn out like Amazing Spider-Man.
Why?
I just don't think it's going to be any good at all.
Based on what? There's nothing to base that on. Your opinion's based on the fact that 3 people who are working on it: the director, the actor, and then the writer, and that's it. There's nothing else about this movie right now.
I'm not saying that I'm against like another Hellboy movie, and I'm not going to say that only Guillermo del Toro should do Hellboy and Ron Perlman should only be Hellboy. It's just I have no excitement for this whatsoever, and I think the fact that these movies are not that old, I'm getting kind of sick and tired. Like, yes, Spider-Man Homecoming was good, but at the same time, I'm just getting sick of all of these.
But it has nothing to do with that. And the reason this movie is going...
I'm talking about like all these constant reboots and all this.
But they don't have a choice in this matter.
So I'm kind of assuming that the reason why they're redoing Hellboy is because this is going to be the start of an expanded universe.
No.
I'm willing to bet you that this is the start. This is Lionsgate.
Expanded universe into what? Because it doesn't expand into anything. They're going
to give... Who's his sidekick? Abe? They're going to give him his own movie. They're going to give some of those characters.
I don't think so, considering one, this movie is extremely low budget from what they're saying, and like they're wanting to do everything as practical as possible and all that kind of crap. I don't think they're going to do that with it. I really don't. I hope they don't. If they do,
I bet you they will.
I just don't think it's going to happen. At this point, I like what they're trying to do with this movie.
If they want to turn James Bond into an expanding universe, then I'm pretty sure they're going to try and turn Hellboy into an expanding universe.
I just don't think so, because I don't think it's that big of a property. I really don't. I don't think it's a big enough property.
If it's successful enough, then I'm sure that they'll do it.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Especially with Abe, because I don't think it's enough of a character to take off in that direction.
Well, neither were Guardians of the Galaxy, and nobody heard of them before, and look what happened there.
Yeah, I understand that, but we're also talking about a giant Marvel property that Marvel put tons of money behind. There isn't going to be tons of money behind this movie, which is why they didn't make Guillermo del Toro's third movie. They actually wanted to make this movie tie into Guillermo del Toro's movie, but they realized that they just didn't feel like it was right to do that. They even offered him a chance to produce this movie, but he said, if I'm not directing it, I'm not doing it. Which, I'm sorry, I love those two movies, but the thing I'm going to go out and say about Guillermo del Toro is, I think he's overrated. I do. I think he's hugely overrated. I'm not a huge Pacific Rim fan.
Oh, no, I don't like that
His
movie.
haunted movie, didn't even want to see.
Crimson Peak?
Didn't even want to see it.
That was a terrible movie.
Was it bad?
Oh, yeah.
I had no desire to see that movie. And then what else has he done? I'm going blank right now. Help
Pan's
me out, Joe.
Labyrinth.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that movie either. I thought
My favorite
okay.
movie of his is Blade 2.
Yeah, and that would probably be my favorite too. That's my favorite of the Blade movies.
Yeah.
That's it. I just don't. Everybody keeps like, oh, he's so awesome, he's so great. And I'm like, where?
I don't think he's really done enough to get him that kind of acclaim.
But he gets it. People act like he's this big deal, and I'm like, he's got a lot of like movies that didn't do that well under his belt.
I will say this, moving from that, I do kind of like what they're doing with Wonder Woman 2.
I haven't seen anything on that.
They say that they plan on having it take place in the 80s, and it's going to
I did see that, yeah.
deal with the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I think that's a good idea. Because then it's still sort of, I mean, it's not in modern day.
I think they got a big like just.
Oh, and Patty Jenkins is going to come back to direct it.
And I think that's good, but I think they've got a lot to live up to with that movie. And the problem is, and where I think it hurts them is that making these movies time period pieces, especially the last movie, is like what I beefed about, is that those characters are all going to like helped make that movie awesome. They're all going to be 800 years old or gone.
Well, I'm kind of hoping maybe they can come out with some new characters.
Well, I'm hoping they do the same. I mean, you can capture that same thing too.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they could do that, but it also just, to me, it also makes it hard. I mean, they got a lot to live up to with that movie. That movie was awesome, and that's a big thing to try to tackle, in my opinion. I mean, it's like going from The Dark Knight to The Dark Knight Rises. You've got a big wall to climb up.
The Dark Knight Rises was good, though. I know a lot of people hate The Dark Knight Rises.
I'm not disagreeing that it was good. I'm just saying that I'm saying that like Nolan had a lot to live up to there.
He did. And the fact that Heath Ledger passed away didn't help either, because I'm 100% certain that Nolan had every intention of bringing back Heath Ledger for the third Batman movie.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Because, and I just feel that the Joker was obviously going to come. I'm sure he was going to have Bane and have the same overall plot, but I think Joker was going to actually be involved with that as well. And that would have been amazing if it was the Joker and Bane.
I got a boner thinking about that, how glorious that would have been.
That would have been awesome, because then you wouldn't need, I mean, the whole subplot with, what was her name?
Al Ghul. I don't know.
Yeah, Talia al Ghul.
Yeah. I can remember her first name.
That just didn't really work for me. But the movie itself, I thought was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh, no, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I was simply saying that, it was a big hurdle to get over. It's like, ooh, we're coming off this. People are expecting a lot. And it's going to be the same thing with Wonder Woman.
Well, you enjoy Hellboy, sir. I won't. Probably not. Maybe I will.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
No,
At this point, we don't know. I said, I'm just saying it looks positive. That's it. Nothing else. There's nothing negative coming out of the woodworks for it right now. So, we'll see what happens.
It might be good.
Yeah, we'll see. It could be a giant pile of shit. I'm going to full on admit that. And as we're moving forward, I like how we're like, it's going to be a shorter episode, probably not going to be as long as the other, but we're like a half hour in.
Well, we're actually coming to the end, because we're talking about, since we talked about, possible pieces of shits, we have some more.
These two shits.
Yeah, these.
What do you call them?
You got to get these shits off my.
Oh, you know what? I got to go find that. That should be a drop. These shits. Get these shits off me.
Well, let's get to the Disney
I don't
stuff.
imagine there's any copyright on that.
I don't think so. I mean, it's
police footage.
Yeah. Can they copyright that? I
don't know.
Disney, D23, they've announced some big news.
I have something I want to speak on that happened at D23. So that was
Recently?
one of the things. Yeah, no, it was one of the things they talked about like the first time. I guess it was the first time anybody had seen what they think Thanos is going to look like in the Avengers movie.
Oh, okay.
And they have a statue or something of him there. This dude, I'm like, there's no way it's Josh Brolin playing this dude. The dude that the statue they have is like greatly exaggerated, like in terms of monstrosity of a person. I'm like, okay, if they do this, he's gonna have to be 100% CGI because this dude's all ripped and monstrous and huge. He's like his legs, when they have his leg up in the picture, it looks like Marcus Phoenix from the Game of War, from the Gears of War's game. And I was like, no way, that
just roids.
Oh yes, I was like, no way, that won't work. I was like, that'll be bad. Oh, and speaking of that, did you see of movies and things that won't work? This is way off subject from the D23. Did you see Martin Scorsese's new movie pulled in Joe Pesci to be in
The
it?
Irishman?
Yeah, and here's the problem. Are you aware that with Robert De Niro playing the main character in that, they're going to use CGI to make him look way younger to fit that role? They're not going to use makeup. They're using CGI in this movie to make him look a lot younger.
For the whole movie, or
yes, because they did, or for the younger parts of, excuse me, because it's going to span his whole life, I guess. So they're going to do that, and I'm wondering how well that's going to work. I meant to bring that up to you.
Especially because isn't this a Netflix movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be interesting because it seems like Marvel is the only one that really knows how to do it well as far as the de-aging thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, because it was Tony Stark they did that with. And then
Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah, and then they did it with him, and then they also did it with
Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
in Ant-Man.
Yeah. So I mean, but we'll see. It was but that was on a big budget movie. Those are big budget movies, and I'm sure this will have a good budget. But Netflix isn't going to be like, here's $300 million for.
Is Martin Scorsese directing this?
I think so. I think he is.
I'm actually really interested in this, considering the fact that it is De Niro and Pesci again.
Oh no! When I meant to bring that up when I saw Pesci finally got on that, I was like, oh, awesome. But I guess he got asked. They said they estimated over 50 times, and he said no all those times. So I'm wondering, like, is he going to be good in this movie, or is he going to be angry? Like, it's like him, like.
That's what we need. We need angry.
No,
Joe
I mean
Pesci.
like half-assing it. Like he's like bullshitting his lines because he didn't want to be in it. I don't think he'll do that. I just think it's awesome that dude's. I mean, what else has he done? And how long's it been since that dude's been in anything?
I think it was actually that Matt Damon movie, The Good Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
I think, which was a De Niro. I think that was a De Niro directed film, and Joe Pesci was in that. That was years ago.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and this is like I think it's awesome that he's going to be in something else.
He was in a Snickers commercial. Remember that?
Yeah. Glad you brought that up. But anyways, that was something I meant to bring up. And I don't know how the Josh Brolin crap. Oh, because it's all CG. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, sidetracked.
Well, we can get into something that's going to be all CG. Just some Disney news. We'll start first with, I think their next big animated movie, computer animated movie, is The Lion King.
Oh, no. It's live action. I don't understand the point of this. They're remaking this movie, and it's going to be a CG movie. It is. It's so stupid to me that they're even doing that movie.
The Jungle Book was a huge CG movie, but at least they had the boy, and the Jungle Book was decent.
I'll give you that. I watched it not that long ago. I didn't like the movie that much, but as far as like how it looked and all that stuff, it worked.
We should also say that we are not the audience for these movies.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But we're gonna critique them anyway
Because I watched Beauty and the Beast like a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago.
The live action one,
and I forgot to say anything about it. Yeah, sucked.
Did it really?
I hated it.
I haven't. I didn't want to talk any trash on it because I hadn't seen it, and I have a couple of friends, Dustin and Sarah.
I just didn't see the big deal.
And they, by the way, Sarah is a new listener, and she's a lady. So we've got a lady listener.
I just didn't like it.
But anyway,
not the audience. Though.
They saw it. They liked it.
No,
I don't know, but
it's
me,
Beauty and the Beast, but in movie form, and I just didn't like it. I just thought, what's the big deal? And that's my problem with all these movies. I don't see the big deal because I'm I'm watching the same damn movie over again. That's it. I don't care. I'm not the audience for these movies. Period.
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it because I already saw the animated one, and I thought I love the animated movie. I just feel that there's no point in watching this. And plus, like, I've seen a lot of clips, and I saw that CinemaSins did a video on it. There's really no reason for me to watch it.
It seemed more like a.
They brought up CinemaSins. They brought up a very good point of the fact that the Psycho remake which is a shot-for-shot remake, and how everybody hates that movie simply for the fact of that. And yet Beauty and the Beast, the live action, is a shot-for-shot remake of the animated.
Almost.
But, well, they add a lot of, it sounds like they add a lot of padding. Like a lot more songs.
Yeah, it's
to make it more boring.
Shot for shot. I didn't like it. I felt like I was watching a stage production of it than an actual movie.
I just don't know why you would waste your money to watch it, and just if you have the original animated one, just watch that, because I'm sure it's done much better in terms of like the singing, the animation.
It all works, dude. It's okay. It's a well-rounded, good produced movie. It looks like
the Beast looks like turds.
I'm not a huge fan of the special effects in this movie, but it is what it is. It works. It's just, I think, so it's unfair for me, someone like me, to sit here and say that it sucks, because it's, again, not the audience, definitely the wrong person for this to be the guy.
Well, you liked the animated movie, didn't you?
Yeah. And it's like these remakes. I just don't see the point to these movies being remade. I don't understand the point to the live action cartoon. These cartoons being turned into live action movies.
And they're not going to be anywhere near as good either. Like, I mean, let's just face it, they're not going to be. And of course, like Lion King is, I think, the next big one. And
I think, here's the thing. The Lion King, I'll be honest, I'm a little interested in, and not because I'm excited about it or anything like, oh, it's going to be awesome. I'm curious to see how they do it.
I think they're going to do it just like... See, all right. I want to bring up Maleficent because...
I actually like that movie.
I like that movie too. They changed things. Like, they did it from a different perspective. And I was kind of hoping that that's the kind of thing that they would do with these live-action remakes.
Tell the same story, but from a different point of view.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're not really doing that now, though. I'm pretty sure that since Beauty and the Beast is this humongous success, they're pretty much just going to do it like exactly like how the original animated movie was. I'm pretty sure that the live action Lion King is going to be just like it, except they're probably going to they're going to pad it out with extra songs.
Not interested in Dumbo. Not at all. You know what, honestly, if they did do a Disney cartoon and turned it into a live action movie, that I would actually, I hate to say this, but I think I would actually like to see I'd like to see Pinocchio done as a live action movie.
I'm pretty sure that they are doing that. I think they're going to do all of them.
I would like to see it just so I can see the island where everybody turns into donkeys. I just want to see like that whole scene with Stromboli and all that stuff.
Well, that's just like with Dumbo, which they've already announced that, Tim Burton is the director. The cast, they didn't exactly say who these people are going to be, but Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito, Eva Green, and Michael Keaton are going to be in Dumbo.
I wonder how are they going to do. I wonder how they're going to get around the crows.
Do the crows. Yeah. How are they going to do that? Do you think, are they integral to the plot? Can't they just cut them out?
I think they can. I've
never seen Dumbo. But
I think they
can
cut them out. I think they can cut them out. However, I think people will be mad that they're cut out. They need to be done differently. They're definitely racist.
Maybe updated.
Yes, and not racist.
But with Lion King, for some reason, like James Earl Jones is doing the voice of
Mufasa.
Yeah, again. I think this is just completely wrong. I mean, you're just kind of why don't you get a new voice?
Who's playing somebody else? Who's the person playing the bird? I saw like
John Oliver.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I don't.
My biggest problem is having James. Nothing against James Earl Jones, but that's my biggest problem is why are you bringing that voice back? Yes, he has a very powerful voice, but there are many others. Why don't you just Vin Diesel? I'm sure if Vin Diesel was available.
Vin Diesel would have been awful.
It's a powerful voice, though.
Come, Simba. Let's get in my car.
Aladdin. They've announced who's going to be in Aladdin.
Who's in that movie? Are they whitening it up? Are they whitewashing it, as they keep calling it these days?
No, they're not. It's... I never heard of this dude. I think he's a newcomer. I looked at his IMDb. He hasn't had much. But Mina Masood is going to be playing Aladdin.
Oh, yeah, he's real good. Good Bollywood actor. I don't know if he's from India.
I don't know.
Or that part of the world. I'm being a judgy, racist, assuming person right now.
Well, I remember from his IMDb page, he was in that television show Nikita. he was credited as Al Qaeda number 2. So
wow.
So he's playing Aladdin. I mean, it's newcomer.
That's right up there with I can't even remember what movie it was that I saw Sam Jackson was in, and he was credited as black guy.
Might have been True Romance.
Oh no, it was older than that. It was like way
Coming to America.
No, way older than those movies. It was like the very beginning of that dude's career.
Naomi Scott is going to be Jasmine. She was in the Power Rangers movies.
Mm-hmm.
The genie. You probably don't know who the genie is.
No, I don't actually.
Do you want to know?
I do.
It's Will Smith.
No, I did know that. Yeah, I did know that. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember hearing that. And I didn't, and because I remember I told my wife, and she was like, "What?" and that is another one of those things in Hollywood where I feel like you have a hurdle that you're going to have to jump over.
This is a giant one because Robin Williams, whether you hate him or love him, I love him. I honestly think that performance that he did as a genie is definitely one of his top performances. It's right up there with like maybe Dead Poet Society or
it's some of the best voice work ever in the history of cartoons.
Oh yeah.
And it's also Robin Williams. I mean, that's a big name, a big deal. I mean, I'm trying to get the word out of my mouth. It's an iconic performance. Like it's something that is known and well known.
I remember back in the day there were talks of him being Oscar nominated for that.
Yeah, and that's why I just feel like Will Smith is going to be it's going to be a very big hurdle for him to get over because here's what I think.
Not only that, but his track record lately is terrible.
I feel like we're going to get like, oh my God, I'm worried that we're going to end up with 90s mid Will Smith doing the genie. And
I think they're going to do the songs too.
And that's where I'm like, well, you know what, if we get like a new modern day, they're turning it into a hip hop song. You never had a friend like me? Is that the song?
Yeah.
It's gonna.
He's gonna be singing again. He hasn't done that since Wild Wild West.
He's gonna get jiggy with it in this movie. Oh my God, I have no idea what they're thinking with casting him in that role.
Well,
I really don't.
They say that it is gonna follow the animated movie, but they said they're also gonna take elements from the story.
I say how because he's not. They are going to have to drastically change that character for Will Smith to play it. And you think he's going to say like, woo, and damn a few times in this movie?
I think so. I think that's fine, though, because there is pop culture references with Robin Williams.
No, I understand that. I'm saying, is there going to be lots of Will Smithisms in this movie?
You know that there is. There always is.
But that's what I'm talking about, man. It's like, I just don't think it's going to work because I think the reason he works so well in and whatchamacallit, what's the name of the movie?
After Earth?
No. Yeah, After Earth. No, Suicide Squad. It's because there wasn't as many, like Will Smith wasn't normal Will Smith in that movie completely. I don't feel like he was.
He sort of. Maybe it was more restrained.
Toned down is Will Smith. I don't know. Some people might want that. I don't know.
Well, then why isn't After Earth your favorite movie of his? Because he's totally not Will Smith in that movie.
That doesn't have anything to do with that. It's because it's a pile of crap.
But
stupid
do you know
movie.
Do you know who the director is
of
Aladdin?
No.
It's Guy Ritchie.
Oh no, I knew that too. I don't know why I keep forgetting these things. Yeah,
Should I even ask you anymore? Just say it.
Yeah, just say it because then I'll be like, oh yeah,
I don't know that. Oh yeah, I do.
Well, you know what? It's because I'm having brain farts. I gotta pee real bad right now, and I'm just hoping to get to the end of the show without having to oh hey Joe, I gotta go.
But yeah, Guy Ritchie, his track record has been rather terrible lately. I mean, the King Arthur movie. I'm surprised Disney is still letting him direct Aladdin after that travesty. Granted, I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it's absolutely awful. It's a terrible movie.
What did he do before that?
Sherlock Holmes 2.
Which did okay. So his track record isn't really
yeah.
I mean, you can't say his track record is that bad.
Did that movie, but I don't think that made as much money as the previous
No, it didn't
Sherlock
make as much money as the first one, but there's still talks of doing another one. So it's obviously not, it didn't hurt
The second movie wasn't really all that good. I thought the first one was.
I wouldn't say his track record's all that bad, but he is coming off a dud. So
a huge dud.
Yeah. So, surprising, considering that movie was advertised out the ass. Oh my God, I felt like it was like Transformers, where it's like we're trying to force you into thinking you have to go see this movie.
And nobody did.
No. Now, there's several reasons why. No one gives a crap about King Arthur one. And two, I like Charlie Hunnam, but most people still don't know who the hell he is.
You know what? They were gonna make an expanded universe off of King Arthur.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Or are you just making that up to be an asshole?
They were gonna make a Merlin movie, a Guinevere movie, and
okay,
a movie solely about Excalibur.
I can't tell if you're serious.
It was going to be called Excalibur, which is going to be a reboot of Excalibur. And
are you serious?
Yes. No, I'm not serious at all.
Okay, yeah, so it's like I can't tell. Lately, Joe's been getting one over on me, and I'm just good for Joe. Good for Joe.
Well, man, that's
it.
That's all I got.
I like how we're like, we don't have enough for this week's episode. You guys are going to get a whole lot of Joe John this week. So
that's because we love you all.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We love all of you, each and every one of you. When I see you guys, I'm going to give you all a big kiss, all at once. I could stay awake just to hear you breathing. Watch you smile while you're sleeping, and you're far away dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. Don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you.